Welcome to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. I'm Bernie Flowers, one of Uncle Sam's wayward children, and I believe that our country's best days are still in front of us. But those best days, if they are to come, we need to change the direction of the country right now, before it's too late. I intend to talk about important topics every week in hopes of helping to improve our country and our way of life. We ask that you please like, share, and subscribe as we try to grow our channel and provide a voice to America's forgotten middle class. So now, let's get started. Welcome to episode 67. This will be another one of Bernie Durant's. Do you believe in coincidences? Some very odd events have been happening over the past few weeks, and it's hard to believe in coincidences when odd things like this happen so close together. All I can say is, isn't that peculiar? For example, computer vendor CrowdStrike caused the biggest IT outage ever on the 19th of July, this past Friday. Employees couldn't log into their accounts and workstations all over the world. Travelers were stranded, not just in America, but all over the world. Computers were bricked. CrowdStrike's CEO answered a bunch of questions, but he basically gaslighted everyone with his answers on the website. I once worked with CrowdStrike when I was behind the fence, and they're supposed to be the global leader in cybersecurity. A company worth over $80 billion. It's unacceptable that one software bug can cripple computers all over the world. When I worked in IT, we did our software updates at night and on the weekend so as not to affect operations with the things that we were doing. So who does a major software implementation upgrade test early on a Friday morning? Their solution is technobabble that the average user will never understand. CrowdStrike seems to have done more damage than most hackers. They've done more damage than the people that might be against them. They're actually damaging the people who are paying them. Crazy. This would be hilarious if the rest of the world weren't so very dependent upon CrowdStrike's security services. Entire industries were shut down, and as I said before, travelers were stranded, and many things happened. So, are we being prepped for something big in the future? Are we being tested for something worse? Isn't that peculiar? The Trump assassination fallout. I've heard people say that it's a shame that the shooter missed. What kind of person would wish to see another person assassinated on live television? Is this what we are? Much less a presidential candidate. Can you imagine what would have happened if Trump had been killed? What would be the effect in Russia, in China, in North Korea, and many of the other countries that are our enemies? Do you know that the financial firm Austin Private Wealth shorted the Trump media shares right before his assassination? Had Trump been killed, Austin Private Wealth would have benefited financially from his death. They would have made millions of dollars. Austin Private Wealth claims their investment was a mistake due to a clerical error attributed to a third-party software vendor. Somehow, did they expect Trump to die? Did they know something that we don't know? Apparently, Austin Private Wealth is connected to BlackRock and Vanguard. Austin Private Wealth brought a gain of Trump media stock around the week before the event happened, apparently with the intention of selling it short and making millions of dollars from the deal. Remember, the gunman appeared in a commercial for BlackRock a few years ago. July 8th, Biden said, "It's time to put Trump in a bullseye." So what did he mean by that? What was Biden's responsibility for his offensive rhetoric? Isn't that peculiar? It's official. As of Sunday afternoon, 21 July, old Joe Biden has dropped out of the race. Didn't Joe Biden's campaign on Friday on the Morning Joe television program say that the polls aren't as bad as they seem? Didn't they say that Biden is far more committed than ever to running for office and that people in our country are not watching cable news? On that same day, Kamala Harris made calls to their donors to reassure them that all was well within the Democratic Party. I guess the story about Biden having the bug was just another ruse designed to buy him some time to consider his options. I noticed that he was not wearing a mask when he boarded Air Force One on Friday. During Biden's announcement on Sunday, he initially failed to endorse Vice President Harris, but after a 23-minute pause, he chose to endorse Miss Harris. That sounds kind of weird to me. Stevie Wonder could see this move coming. The administration has been gaslighting this country for 3.5 years about Biden's health and about his ability to lead our government. I guess Biden figured that he owed something to all the black women who helped put Kamala in office. Well, she has quite an uphill fight in front of her, knowing that after serving as vice president for almost 4 years, most voters now know who she is, and they don't like her. The Democrats are in a pretty tough spot right now, but they brought this upon themselves by choosing a candidate that was far too old and frail to complete 2 presidential terms, and by choosing a vice presidential candidate for her immutable characteristics instead of her merit. The whole scenario would be funny if it weren't so deadly serious. I bet Mr. Trump is somewhere laughing his ass off while he changes the bandages on his ear. I recommend that you all strap in tight for whatever is next over the horizon. The way things are going now, there's no telling what may come and how it will affect the American people. Now, isn't that peculiar? Well, that's about it for now. This has been the Loyal Opposition Podcast, produced in association with Fallback Productions and other podcasters. We ask that you please like, share, and subscribe as we try to grow our channel and provide a voice to America's forgotten middle class. Be sure to get your copy of my book, Black Values Matter, available as an ebook on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. And also, remember, it's okay to disagree, but if we want our country to prosper, we've got to insist on unity, transparency, and civility from ourselves and our fellow citizens. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.